Hi everyone, I'm Dave and I love movies. So, welcome to my podcast, The Reaction Shot. In each episode, I'll dive deep into a movie of any genre that holds a special place in my heart. But here's the twist. I bring on a guest who has never seen that movie before, until now. We discuss, dissect, and review from pre to post-production to behind-the-scenes stories and well into its impact on pop culture. Will we agree on everything, or will we have wildly different views? Thanks for hitting play. Let's roll tape and find out. Fade in. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Reaction Shot. It's me, your host, Dave. And I'm being joined today by two lovely ladies. And if you haven't guessed who they are in this 3-second conversation, it is, of course, my friends, Lauren and Brittany. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hello. Great. How are you?
I'm great. Another fun episode. And the three of us are back again. The really cool triplets talking about some cool movies. Lauren, what movie are we talking about today?
Thanksgiving. What cool is a strong word.
Oh man. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So today's movie we're doing is 2023's Thanksgiving. It is Eli Roth's teen horror slasher film. Brittany, what is your history with Thanksgiving?
Absolutely nothing. Whenever you asked me about it, I was like, okay, sure, I'll watch it. I have no idea what it's about. I was really scared, so I had to wait until the daytime. And then as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I could have watched this at night. This is fine.
So no history with it at all? You don't remember any like advertisements, anything talking about it, anything at all?
No.
Okay.
Was it always on Netflix?
So it came out a year ago, yesterday, actually. So happy anniversary to Thanksgiving.
Wild.
Yeah. Lauren, what's your history with Thanksgiving?
I mean, I have none either. When you first said Thanksgiving, I was hoping it would be like a cool like 1980s Thanksgiving horror movie, but then I was like, oh, Addison Rae, and I just said that.
You know what? No, that's totally fair. When I heard about this movie getting greenlit and starting to be made, they of course were announcing the cast, and they said Addison Rae, and I was like,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, that's all we need.
I saw her and I was like, oh no. And then I watched it and I said, you know what?
She's not bad in it.
She's really not bad at all.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm glad that both of you said that. Yeah, good. That's actually how I felt too. By the time the movie ended, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Addison Rae didn't bother me at all, so I accepted it for what it was. So
the TikToks are a facade. She's actually a good actor.
Yeah. She was didn't bother me at all. Yeah.
Good. Because I felt the same way. She was actually in the sequel / reboot to She's All That called He's All That. I don't know if you guys watched that, but
no, you don't.
I saw it. I clicked on it, and I was like, I can't watch this. And I just
I saw it. I clicked play. I watched about 20 minutes of it, and I turned it off. So
I think I may have actually. I think I did watch it. I actually remember.
Not memorable.
No, not memorable at all.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Nothing beats the original She's All That. That's for sure.
I mean,
Rachel Lee Cook and a Freddie Prinze Jr. Who can go wrong? Nobody.
Right? Yeah.
We'll do an episode someday. We'll just talk about it for 2 hours.
Can we? Can we?
We can. Hey, in 2025, all bets are off for this podcast. We're gonna go balls to the wall. We're gonna do everything.
Oh yeah, like cutesy, How to Lose a Guy 10 Days. Here for it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, you guys can start compiling a list now, and I'll knock it down to all horror movies in one. Drama. I'm just
There's
kidding.
not gonna be any horror movies on my list there, Dave.
Put a few in.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll slide a couple. We'll slide a couple in. Sneak them in there. Or I'll lie to you guys, and I'll tell you that it's like a. Okay, well, I'd be like, oh yeah, Thanksgiving. It's about this horrid love affair during the Thanksgiving holiday. So
Meanwhile,
meanwhile,
And technically, you wouldn't be wrong.
yeah, I wouldn't be lying to you.
No.
So yeah, well, you're welcome. So that's what this was. Glad you guys watched it. But of course, again, we're talking 2023's Thanksgiving. It is a horror movie. Don't let it fool you. It's definitely more in the vein of Scream in terms of the meta slasher, teen horror film. And did you guys see, while watching the film, did you see a lot of the homages to Scream, to Halloween, to things like that? Did you guys pick up on little things here and there? They're kind of like, paying respect to the OG slashers.
Oh, I noticed it was more of like a Final Destination type feel.
Okay, that's fair.
But I can see like the Scream aspect of like going to the sheriff's office, small towns, everybody knowing everybody. This movie is actually insane. Just like thinking about it, the things that happened.
Yeah.
The first scene in general, I'm just like, what am I about to watch? What am I about to endure?
Okay, well, you're welcome, everyone. So my history with Thanksgiving is back in 2007, there was a film, there's two films released as a duo, and they referred to it as Grindhouse. Are you guys familiar with Grindhouse?
No.
Vaguely?
So Grindhouse was like a callback to like the old Grindhouse films back in the 70s and 80s, where they were kind of really gritty. They were shot on like really shitty film, low budget, all that stuff. So they actually had two directors make these movies. It was Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. They did Planet Terror and Death Proof. So combined, they referred to it as Grindhouse, and then separately, if you wanted to watch the movies on their own, you could do that as well. Again, that was Planet Terror and Death Proof. So if you went to go see Grindhouse at the theater, so two films back to back, in the middle, they actually had movie trailers. They hired real directors to make fake trailers for upcoming Grindhouse films. They kind of carried the same aesthetic, all that fun stuff. So Eli Roth, the director of Thanksgiving, is actually really, really good friends. Really good friends with Robert Rodriguez, and he's also really good friends with Quentin Tarantino. So Quentin Tarantino reached out to him and was like, "Hey, like we're kind of doing this really cool project. We want you to make a fake trailer for us." Eli Roth was like, "Okay, I got you. I've been kind of tossing around this idea. I think it's kind of funny." So it began as a fake trailer. So Thanksgiving started off as a fake movie trailer for this Grindhouse film.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, and it was, it's pretty neat. So the trailer itself is 2.5 minutes long, and it plays just like a real trailer you would see before a movie. It has like the old school kind of like dirt and grime on the camera film. It kind of has like the pops on the screen. So it definitely feels super old school. And they had multiple movies, multiple fake trailers, and they actually made one of them into a film called Machete. And Machete became really popular, so they ended up making a sequel to Machete. And they also made a full-length feature film of one of the other trailers that was called Hobo with a Shotgun. Aren't you guys glad I didn't tell you to watch Hobo with a Shotgun?
Yeah, I'm very glad. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So, according to filmmaker Eli Roth, the film that was advertised obviously was a fake trailer. It was about a kid who's in love with a turkey, and then his father kills that turkey, and then he kills his family and went away to a mental institution and comes back to seek revenge on the town.
What? What is it telling you?
Wait, whoa. The kid fell in love with the turkey. The dad kills the turkey, and then the kid kills the family.
Yep, and then goes away to a mental institution, escapes, and comes back to seek revenge on the town for locking him up in a mental institution.
Is that Michael Myers? Like, what?
Yes. very,
Well,
it's, yeah. Yeah. So take that all in.
I'm trying.
So in an interview with Total
And this
Film magazine, Eli Roth said that the full-length film isn't meant to fit that description anymore. He said, "Let's pretend Thanksgiving was a movie from 1980 that was so offensive that every print was destroyed. All the scripts were burned, the director disappeared, the crew members changed their names. One person saved that trailer and uploaded it to the darkest corners of film, and now it's made, and that's how it made it out. So that trailer escaped, but the actual film itself is gone. So they took the idea of that and created a 2023 reboot. So that was like the idea behind actually turning it into a feature-length film. So if you watch that trailer, which I'm assuming neither one of you have seen.
No.
No, but I want to watch it now. Yeah.
When we're done with this podcast,
Yeah.
both of you and anyone listening, go check it out. Check out Thanksgiving Eli Roth 2007 trailer. And again, it works just like a real trailer, and it shows different scenes, and some of those scenes that are in the trailer are also in the film. So one scene in particular I want to talk about is the trampoline scene. So the trampoline scene that we get in this film, guy and girl making out, guy goes to watch her, she's being a little flirtatious. There's like a spotlight on the trampoline. She's jumping up and down, and the killer ends up killing the man by twisting his neck, turning his head all the way around. So the girl thinks this guy's still watching her, and then the killer ends up going underneath the trampoline and sticking the knife up through the trampoline, and obviously by jumping and falling onto the knife, the girl dies. So that's what happens in this film. In the trailer, it works out the same way, except the way they were making things back then, they were kind of playing into the real perverse side of it all, and I'm really glad that they kind of took this out of there. They made it way less offensive in this film. So in the trailer, even just the trailer itself, it's the same scene, same exact things happened. Her boyfriend just got killed. She's jumping on the trampoline. She takes her shirt off. She's completely nude. She just has her cheerleader skirt on, and she's jumping up and down, and she does a split when the knife comes up. And that's how it happens in the trailer.
No, I hate that.
So then in 2007, that was like one of the most talked about things, like, oh, like what a gnarly kill. We can't wait till this film gets made. So when, this full length version came out, Eli Roth said, things were very different back then. And also we were trying to like ham up the idea of like the violence and the perversion. And he was like, I don't want to do stuff like that anymore. So I'm glad that he really dialed back those types of things to not make it as unneeded, for sure.
Was that the only trailer that they didn't make into like a full length?
I want to say there were a few trailers. I don't know. This is the third movie, I believe. So I think this is the third one, and I think there was 5 or 6. So I still think there's like 2 or 3 that. Yeah, and I didn't do a lot of research on what the other ones were about. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Grindhouse movies. In fact, the only reason I knew about the Thanksgiving trailer was just because I had heard things about it in the past. So that's my history with the movie. I had heard about this trailer. People were talking about like the really cool kills. They wish it was a real movie. I watched it. I was like, oh, it looks really cool. It's they were kind of like making fun of like the holiday slasher stuff. So there was never really, at least at that time, any notable Thanksgiving horror films. So Eli Roth was kind of used that holiday as fun, and here we are. So that's the beginning of my history with it. And of course, a year ago, as of us recording today, Thanksgiving came out 1 year ago yesterday, which was November 17th, 2023. Zach and I went to go see it. Zach and I wanted to go see it, and we had just moved here to Columbus, and we ended up going to see Saltburn instead of Thanksgiving because we were definitely wondering what Saltburn was all about. So just like much things nowadays, the turnaround to digital was pretty quick. It came out right around Christmas time, so Zach and I just waited for then. We watched it as soon as it was available on video on demand, and I'll be honest with you guys, we kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's what we're here to talk about, right? Like, Dave, why the hell did you like this shit?
Honestly.
honestly.
I still question that movie.
Every movie.
About it later.
Well, the film was made on a budget of $15 million. Its
Jeez, that's
opening
a lot.
weekend, yeah. Its opening weekend ended up making $10.3 million. So almost got its budget back just from the weekend.
Yeah.
The United States total gross was 31.9, and the worldwide gross was $46.6 million.
Okay.
Needless
so
to
they made
say,
their money back a little bit.
yeah. Needless to say, they just greenlit a sequel. So
They did.
Did
there's
they?
going to be more.
I was hoping because I just want to know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm in the story, I just need to know what happens.
Well, they did kind of leave it on like a cliffhanger, so that makes sense.
That's what I mean. So it's just like, oh, what happens next? Is it going to be?
Yeah.
Do we think it's going to be like a franchise like Scream, or will the second one? I guess depending on the popularity of it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. Because in a weird way, a lot of people actually really like this movie. Which we'll obviously get into all that too. But getting into the ratings of it all, Internet Movie Database has it at 6.2 out of 10. Metacritic has it critically as 63 out of 100. Users are 6.2 out of 10. Letterboxd is 3 out of 5. And Rotten Tomatoes critically is 84%, and user score is 79%. So
we're just kind of like Jason.
Yeah, so I feel like it's very in the middle, but more on the positive side. So, Lauren, where do you fall on a scale of 1 to 10?
That surprises me that so many people liked this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like a 2.
Okay.
Oh,
Lauren, I love your ratings.
No, I'm a 2. The things I liked about it were like the cute town. That's about it. Like the fall scenery. I loved the leaves, and that was nice. So the leaves and the scenery get a 2. It was a 2 for me. Yeah.
It was a 2. All right, guys. Lauren's landed us on a 2. Brittany, where we landed with you?
I honestly don't know because like there were some parts that I really liked. There were some parts that I didn't. Like I still don't understand what Patrick Dempsey's accent was. It really threw me off, and nobody else had an accent. It's like we're supposed to be in Massachusetts. What's happening?
Yeah.
But maybe like a 5.5.
Okay. 5.5. All right, so we got a 2.
Like a 5.5.
Okay. So we got a 2 and we got a 5.5. Lauren, what do you think I rated Thanksgiving?
I think you rated it a 7.5.
Okay. Brittany, what do you think?
I would say a 7, but 7.5 around that range. Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Oh God, it's going to be like a 10.
I'm just kidding. No, it's. I was gonna say it's 7.5.
Oh.
So yeah, so you guys were Lauren, you guys were right. Yeah, so 7.5 for me. I think when I first watched it, I think I gave it an 8. I think that's what I told Zach. I'm like, it's an 8 out of 10 for me for sure. Rewatching it again, there's definitely a couple of things that like irritated me a little bit, but no, I think I think we followed a 7.5 out of 10 for me. So I'm glad we all have slightly different views here. So
yeah,
I'm leading the pack with my love for this movie. I love it. Love it. So are you guys going to watch this fake trailer whenever we get off this call? Because you got to be curious, right?
No, I will
too, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Perfect.
It's a love story.
Because I'm curious.
Yeah, it's a love story. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you don't get any of that in the trailer. Like, you wouldn't even know that was a storyline. It's just a lot of quick cuts. Obviously, they're kind of establishing what the movie's going to be like, all that fun stuff. So, but yeah. So, well, let's get into 2023's Thanksgiving. It's now officially Lauren's favorite movie, I think. I'm just kidding.
No.
Lauren, what have you rated less than a 2? I'm trying to think.
The first Terrifier, I gave it a 0. Yeah.
You know what played after I watched this the first time was the first Terrifier, and
Really? Is
it
it
was
on
like
Netflix?
yes.
Oh
I don't
God.
so I actually ended up renting it off of Prime because I couldn't find it, and then I was like, oh
Uh-huh.
wait, never mind. But that popped up, and I guess it was like the coroner scene and that whole
Mhm.
like death scene, and I was just like, this is like The Boys. Like it's not shocking, but like, what's the point type
Yeah.
Yeah.
deal. So I feel that. I feel that zero. I didn't finish it. I was like, I'm just gonna turn this off.
Yeah.
Oh
No, that
no.
was a 0. And then I think Terrifier, didn't I say Terrifier 2 was a 2.25? So
You
this is
you
less
were you were a little bit above
than,
too.
this is less than Terrifier 2.
Wow. Hey.
Wow.
Art. Wow.
Art,
This
art,
is
art hit that heart. Art hit that heart.
art hit the heart.
He shot me in the heart
Oh,
with his
the
stupid
romance.
bow.
Stop
That's
clowning
me.
around.
Stop.
All right. Brittany, what did you rate less? Is this your lowest rated one?
Um, I honestly don't know. Did I rate Scream at like a 6
I don't
or
remember.
7? Or
I feel like this is your lowest rating.
it might be.
I told Zach, I was like, I feel like they're either gonna love it or hate it. I know that's an obvious thing, you either love a movie or hate it, but you guys, I don't know. I guess Brittany, you're kind of in the middle, so maybe I'll try to
Yeah.
pull you to the positive side with some stuff.
Like I
Don't
Maybe.
try
really
with
did
me.
it high because of the acting. Because like I really enjoyed the acting of it all. I mean the storyline, some of the stuff that happened. I'm like, what? It shouldn't have been that serious. None of it. Especially the beginning.
Ah,
Especially
the
that
beginning.
like
Oh,
consumerism gross, capitalism gross, like chill. That was unnecessary. And
there,
actually, before we did this, I looked up stuff on Thanksgiving, like because I was like, "Is this actually real?" Yes, it sure
Hmm.
was.
people
Multiple
have
times for
died on
years.
Black Friday, I feel.
People have died. Like
Yeah.
the one scene that we're going to talk about in the door, which that man should have moved, regardless. That actually happened to a 34-year-old man who worked at Walmart. They happened at
Oh
Walmart's.
shit!
God.
Yeah,
Not
I was like, wow,
surprised,
not surprised either, but like
but damn.
waffle iron shouldn't be that serious. Oh,
PSA.
tickle me Elmo shouldn't be that serious.
No. PSA, do not be one of those people that goes out on Thanksgiving or early in the morning on Black Friday to go shop. Don't be that
Yeah,
person.
no, don't be that person. Because like you're miserable whenever
Small.
you
Business
then go
Saturday.
out to eat. Yeah, like just shop like a normal person. You'll get
Yeah.
those deals. You'll be okay.
Wait, Dave,
Guys,
you're acting like you do that.
I used to be that Black Friday shopping guy.
No.
I did it once and I've walked around to look at it, never purchased things, but I wanted to see the chaos
To be fair, I think it's obnoxious for stores to open like Thanksgiving night.
on
Like that's
Thanksgiving. Yeah,
completely
Sure.
obnoxious.
it's rude. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
like
Yeah.
that's
I agree with you.
disrespectful.
Yeah, I think like when I was old enough to drive, I would go with my mom sometimes when I was younger. I don't really remember like what we were doing, but uh when I was old enough to drive, I would go with my friends and we would go, but we would go like we would do the early morning stuff. We wouldn't do the Thanksgiving stuff like at nighttime,
Yeah.
like on Thursday. Yeah, it's Black Friday, guys. Friday. Like, come
Friday,
on.
right?
Yeah.
And just
Spring
like
is
Yeah.
just
just wait in
obnoxious.
the line. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, I would spend my Thanksgiving at my aunt's house looking at her computer, looking at ads to see where I wanted to go to get all the best deals. And I feel like you guys know me pretty well to where like obviously I wasn't like the aggressive shopper.
Yeah.
Brittany, kind of like you said, I would walk around and like look at things. I'd have an idea of what I wanted, and if they had it,
Yeah.
cool. If not, I wasn't gonna lose my mind or like run people over with shopping carts. Like what?
Right? Like at once at Best Buy, and this was the only time I went, um, for a computer. It was a touchscreen. I was so excited. And my hands were going for it. This man swooped in, grabbed it, and walked away. And I was like,
Oh God.
you're actually kidding.
All right, that's
And I
crazy.
waited in line from like 10 p.m. to whenever they opened, which was fine. Like, whatever. But I was right there. And he just smashed it.
That's
I'm sorry.
obnoxious.
Obnoxious. I was so
Yeah.
pissed. And then I just got a different computer, but like that was, you saw my hands going out. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
shitty, and that's you know we'll get into the opening scene, but yeah. Okay, so starting with the cast, we have kind of a big cast here. I kind of knocked down a few of the bigger names here, as well as like the main characters. But as our lead final girl, we have Nell Verlacki. I think that's how you say her name. Could be completely wrong. She's not going to listen to this, but if she does,
she might.
I'm sorry. She might. Who knows?
Verlacki. It's Verlacki.
Yeah. Verlacki?
Yeah, that's it.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was just testing you guys.
I don't know.
Well, Nell, she plays Jessica. Addison Rae plays Gabby. Jalen Thomas Brooks plays Bobby. Milo Manheim plays Ryan. Rick Hoffman plays Thomas Wright. Tommaso Sanelli plays Evan. Gariel Davenport plays Scuba. Jenna Warren plays Yulia. Karen Cliché, I think that's how she spells her last name. Probably not how you say it, but she plays Kathleen. Gina Gershon plays Amanda, and Patrick Dempsey plays Sheriff Eric Newland. Good old sheriff.
He's always the sheriff in scary movies.
Okay, so funny thing about Patrick Dempsey at this point in time, he was just named, when this movie came out, People Magazine's 2023 Sexiest Man of the Year. And here he is. So everyone's going to the theaters to go see. Guys, I'm going to give a spoiler. All right. So if you haven't seen this movie and you're listening to this podcast, go away and then come back.
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey was named Sexiest Man of the Year, and he was also simultaneously murdering a bunch of people in this film because he is John Carver. So Patrick Dempsey as the serial killer was, did you guys guess it, or?
Yeah.
You guessed it?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't.
Like, really? It was certain people in like the group, but I was like, everywhere again.
He's too nice.
He's too nice.
He's being too nice. Never trust someone who's too nice. That sounds.
You think
that sounds really pessimistic.
No,
but,
it's logical.
Well, I need to start being mean so people think that I'm not a killer.
No, like it's a certain type of nice.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought you guys were trying to tell me something. I was getting
no,
worried.
and it's like a creepy nice almost, like a creepy
just
nice.
Everybody's business.
Yeah, always there. Like
looking around. Yeah.
Damn you, sheriff. So what I'm gonna do this time around, I'm going to kind of break the plot down a little bit for you guys. So I'm gonna walk through the movie really quickly, just kind of tell the story. It'll probably take about 2 minutes, and then together the three of us will talk about key scenes, some of our favorite scenes. That way we're not walking through the film scene by scene. So bear with me for 2 minutes. Let me kind of tell you guys and the audience what this film is all about and exactly what happens. And then we'll get into breaking all the fun stuff down. In Plymouth, Massachusetts, the 2022 Thanksgiving festivities descend into chaos as people gather outside Wright Mart Superstore for a Black Friday sale. Jessica Wright, daughter of store owner Thomas Wright, secretly lets friends Evan, Scuba, Gabby, Yulia, and boyfriend Bobby inside through the side door. However, the crowd notices and stampedes into the building, killing Amanda, wife of store manager Mitch Collins, among a few others. 1 year later, Wright Mart prepares for another sale despite the protests. Jessica and friends are tagged in a mysterious social media post displaying a Thanksgiving table with their names. Waitress Lizzie is attacked and killed by a figure wearing black clothing and a John Carver mask. Sheriff Eric Nolan investigates, discovering Lizzie's connection to the Black Friday riot, suggesting the Carver targets those involved. Bobby returns, sparking tension with Jessica and her current boyfriend Ryan. Bobby has disappeared since the attacks. Jessica brings previously hidden riot footage to Newland. The Carver claims more victims. Wright Mart security guard Manny and student Lonnie and Amy, Evan and Gabby are also abducted. Yulia's father tries to take her out of town, but is knocked unconscious by the Carver, who attacks Yulia. Jessica and Scuba rush to her aid, but are unable to prevent Yulia's gruesome murder. The police orchestrate a Thanksgiving parade to lure the Carver out, featuring the Wrights and Scuba. However, the Carver decapitates a turkey mascot, disperses smoke bombs throughout the crowd, and abducts the Wrights and Scuba. The Carver cooks Kathleen alive, serving her as a turkey surrounded by hostages and victims' corpses. He live streams Evan's brutal murder before Jessica escapes. Jessica eludes the Carver by climbing a fence and fleeing through the woods. She finds Nolan unconscious in a parade warehouse and follows a figure wearing the Carver's mask, discovering Bobby. Newland, the sheriff, shoots at Bobby but misses. Police arrive, confirming survivor's safety. Alone with Newland, Jessica recognizes matching brambles on his clothing, revealing his true identity as the Carver. Nolan confesses to avenging Amanda's death and unborn child, targeting those responsible. Jessica live streams his confession, prompting an attack. Bobby intervenes. As they escape in a truck, Sheriff hooks it to a beam and approaches with an axe. Jessica shoots a parade balloon, triggering an explosion engulfing Nolan in flames. Currently, Bobby is hospitalized, and Jessica reunites with Ryan, Gabby, and Scuba, who all survived. Authorities presume the sheriff has perished, but Jessica's nightmares persist, haunted by visions of a flaming sheriff in the crowd. The Carver wreaks havoc on Plymouth, Massachusetts. That's the movie, guys.
The movie.
That's the movie.
Would you have rather just had me read it to you and then not watch it? Is that how much you guys hate it?
I mean, that wouldn't have been bad.
No, I needed to see
No,
it.
To fill in the spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, can I also what happened to Mitch? Where did he go?
What happened to Mitch?
Where did he go?
He just disappeared after that parade. For real.
The storm
never came back.
Whose actual wife was Amanda?
Yes.
What happened to him? He just disappeared.
That's a really good question. I guess I didn't really. I'll look it up for you guys right now.
Okay.
I actually did that, and I was like, maybe he got arrested, but we never saw him. So I doubt it.
Well, he was protesting the store opening again for the second year, but then after that, you didn't see him at all.
Yeah, well, he was in the parade.
Oh, was he?
Held up
that?
Yeah. That's why the truck stopped, and that whole scene. Grandpa wake up, girl, Grandpa's dead. Grandpa's dead.
For sure.
He's not waking up.
Yeah. So this movie is. I guess I do have a lot. I do have a lot of opinions, especially watching it for a second time here. So the opening scene, and it's a very short opening prior to the Black Friday massacre, but the film starts with a POV of someone walking up to the house, and then the door opens and it reveals the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
So historically, when we get that POV, especially approaching a house, that is homage to the OG Halloween movie when Michael approaches the house as a kid, approaches the house, goes inside, and then obviously kills his sister. So I think it was a cool way to trick our mind that this was going to be the killer's point of view. They're going to go into the house and kill whoever's in that house. And whenever they answer the door and we reveal the sheriff, it's kind of like, we're safe. It's just a sheriff. It was a cool shot, whatever. But tongue in cheek, it actually is the killer. So in a weird way, the opening scene, we're tricked to think it's the killer, and then it actually is the killer.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of creative. I mean, I know you guys said that you kind of guessed it was him. One thing I'll give the movie tons of props for is, I think sometimes with slasher movies, it's hard to kind of play with the red herrings, like who possibly could be the killer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Scream movies do a really good job at it. They do end up bringing in a second killer, so there's none of the, well, how was the killer here? And then, the other, the actual killer was actually here the whole time. Like, how do you find that? that time gap. Like, how are you going to be in two places in one time? So Scream usually had that second killer, so kind of off balance that. So I think, in my opinion, even though you guys said that you pretty much guessed it, I thought they did a good job of kind of pointing fingers at people and maybe trying to, you're kind of like, oh, they'll give you a hint or something, and you'd be like, oh, they're the killer, and then, no, that's too obvious, or vice versa. So we mentioned prior to recording that we thought this cast was kind of big. I think it's a positive and a negative. I think the positive is there's more suspects when it comes to trying to guess who the killer is. That was something, in my opinion, that Scream 6 didn't do a good job of. Scream 6 didn't have enough characters, and they had too many returning main characters that it was kind of easy to kind of pinpoint who the killer was going to be because we only had a few people to pick from. Where
Which
with this,
one
we
was
had
Scream 6?
Scream 6 is the one in New York.
The first
last
one in New York.
Yeah, like the most recent one. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because there's... Never mind. Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had pretty much all the returning main characters from Scream 5, and then obviously the legacy characters. So it was hard to, I don't know, I feel like it's pretty easy to guess who the killers were, and I kind of feel like that was a common critique of Scream 6. So I think what Eli Roth was doing here was trying to create a whole bunch of suspects for us. But I guess, some people can figure it out, and that's great. I think it's cool. I mean, I think it sucks that you guys figured it out, but at the same time, I think it's cool. Obviously,
Did you figure it out? Who did you know?
No, but I'll be honest with you guys. When I watch movies, I'm not trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm just like accepting like what's being told to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But
But-
I mean, I will say that like he was the highest suspect because of, I guess, how he was literally everywhere and he knew everybody. But then at the same time, I thought it was Ryan Baker, who was annoying as hell, and Bobby. Like it was going back and forth between the two, especially Ryan. So I was like, you, sir, are being a little creep at all times.
Yeah, Brian's
Bobby.
definitely, and Bobby.
Who?
Oh, Bobby. Bobby's annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Bobby, how his arm got trampled on was simply too much for me. That's when I was like, what is about to happen? Because it did like a, but
it really did.
somehow his arm was fine. The golden arm, like stop
I
it.
hate it. Stop talking about that.
Stop talking about
The golden
it.
arm.
I was like,
The
hey, whenever
golden
you get
arm.
back, we're gonna talk about that arm. Okay.
God, I'm
No.
so
Yeah,
sick
cool,
of hearing
yeah.
about the
Yeah.
arm.
Yeah, like gag.
Maybe that's what Thanksgiving 2 will be called: the return of the golden arm.
Return of it's like his arm that's terrorizing.
The serial killer.
Yeah.
Like idle hands. It's just an arm.
Yeah. I love it.
I love that kind of. Okay.
You hear that, Eli Roth? We have plans for you.
Make it happen.
They also start filming because the people that are trying to come into that store are freaking crazy. And obviously the glass door ends up breaking as all the people are trying to get into the store. And there is a gentleman that is pushed up against the broken part of the glass, and it slices open his neck.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
He still gets his hands on a waffle iron. He was trying.
Thank God.
So
So hard.
dude is bleeding from his neck.
Ugh.
A nice little trail, and he's grabbing that waffle iron, and then someone comes and grabs it out of his hand.
Pries it out of his dead hands.
Yeah. So okay. Let's talk a little bit about the balance of horror and humor. Lauren, do you think that it fell more? Do you think it went a little bit too humorous, or do you think it was a good balance, or do you think a little bit too horror and needed more humor?
It didn't feel horror to me at all. There was definitely like, I don't know, it didn't feel like the beginning of a horror movie. I can see the director being like, this is my commentary on consumerism. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. What about you, Brittany?
It's just like an over-exaggerated real situation. That's what I
Sure.
Yeah, I 1000% agree with that because like just the fact that Evan's standing on the checkout machine and he's just recording And his girlfriend is like, dude, we're about to die. What are you doing? He's like,
Mhm.
getting it for the plot, babe. Like, get out of there. That's
Yeah,
probably
so in my opinion, I think that I feel like Eli Roth actually had the tone down really well. I feel like a lot of movies, Scream is definitely a blueprint for teen slasher movies now. Once Scream came out, it's kind of like all these teen slasher movies wanted to be like Scream. And I feel like when those types of movies happen, we end up, it doesn't usually work because they either fall too hard into the humor or they fall too hard in just being the horror side of it all and not capturing the same type of humor that Scream did, where it kind of becomes laughable. So it's like too much comedy or unintentional comedy, pretty much. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
I think that this is probably one of the first slashers in a long time that's not a Scream movie that has captured the same type of tone as the original Scream in terms of balancing that humor and stuff. I do think that situational things were a little goofier than they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, I agree with that.
So, yes, the Black Friday massacre at the beginning is definitely humorous because it's highly exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
Those things have happened. Yes, it's been in the news. People have passed away. People are getting trampled. So, where I understand that these things have happened and people have actually lost their lives trying to shop on Black Friday,
Insane.
insane. And I feel like Eli Roth kind of takes that and does bring the humor to it, but because it's so exaggerated, it does kind of feel off. And like you said, Lauren, it doesn't necessarily feel like the opening to a horror film.
No.
And he's like
So,
showing the humor behind it because it's such a silly thing to
Mhm.
even do. Like
Mhm.
order over, and then whenever they get to the waffle irons, you're just like,
the awful waffle
yeah,
irons.
the awful waffle irons, and they probably were $16. Like,
Yeah.
so what do you even
Right.
want to do with it? Make waffles? Like, cool.
Right.
You just died and got sliced
hmm
for nothing.
Yeah. One of the other crazy ladies in this Black
Lizzie.
Friday massacre. Yeah, Lizzie. Lizzie, played by Amanda Barker, is actually from Hanover, Massachusetts, and she is the 9th great niece of the actual John Carver.
Okay, so John Carver is Dave.
Uh,
I know he's like an important historical figure.
So if you know me, I'm not good with history stuff at all. But of course, I did a little bit of research. But John Carver was just one of the pilgrims that came over and
the Mayflower
did his thing. So
like the founders.
Yep. So he was one of the founders. Came over on the Mayflower. The Mayflower. At the end of it all, I don't think that he was necessarily anything to really be, having been taught on. Like, I don't think he necessarily did anything worthwhile, but I feel like his name is one of the names that are brought up at that point in time. And I think the play on words with John Carver being a carver, I think that's why they kind of went with that. But it just so happened that actress Amanda Barker is the 9th great niece of the actual John Carver.
Did they do that on purpose?
No, I guess when Eli Roth had her in for an audition, she just happened to mention it, and I'm sure that kind of helped a little bit because it's kind of fun for behind the scenes fun facts.
Well, and she was funny.
Yeah, I think she was a good character. She was she was a little ridiculous. So she also ends up being one of the first victims after the Black Friday massacre. So R.I.P. to her.
R.I.P. Lizzie.
R.I.P. Lizzie. So let's talk about one of the other major deaths in the opening scene. Good old Gina Gershon as Amanda. Are you guys familiar with Gina Gershon?
Yes.
I know her face, but I don't know from what.
She's like in everything, I swear.
Yeah, she's one of those.
She always plays like the mom or the aunt.
She most recently, like one of her.
Wasn't she in a movie we just did? No, she wasn't. Just kidding.
Hey, that's okay. Well, like you said, Gina Gershon, she's everywhere. So maybe
She's
she was
everywhere.
hidden in the background. Yeah, never know.
Yeah.
So Gina Gershon is actually really good friends with Eli Roth. She ended up sending him a text message right before they turned the script in. And she said, when are you putting me in a horror film? And he said, I actually have one for you. So that's how she got the part. Yeah. She actually shot her scenes. She's obviously not in it very much at all.
Yeah.
But she's a big piece of the storyline. So she's an important character. The film was shot over 35 days. Gina Gershon was on set for 2 of those days.
I was going to say, when I saw her, because like there's a few people you recognize. Obviously, you recognize Patrick Dempsey. You recognize that guy from Suits. Don't know his name. And then you recognize her, and I'm like, wait, she's dead already?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Is the guy from Suits Thomas?
The dad, the owner of the store. Yeah.
Because I was like, where have we seen him before? And I couldn't figure it out. And I also didn't look it up, and I should. But okay, that makes sense. I've never seen Suits, but I've seen.
I actually watched it like when it first came out. Like I was like every week watching it.
Yeah.
Little did we know.
The rest of the world was behind you. Yeah. The rest of the world was behind you, Lauren. You were leading the pack on that one.
Hell yeah.
And here we are, 2024, talking about Thanksgiving that has one of the actors in it. Look how far you've come.
I know.
Yeah, so Gina Gershon, she's actually most notably famous for her role in the infamous Showgirls. So that is definitely one of her most noteworthy roles. She's also in a film that I have yet to see. It's, I think, from the early 90s, maybe late 80s. I don't know. But it's called Bound. It's her and Jennifer Tilly. They're like... I don't know. But I've heard a lot of great things about it, and definitely want to check that out.
I feel like she's one of those people that has like mini arcs in a lot of TV shows, you know, like the 3 episode arc, you know.
Yep. She was on Riverdale most recently. Was one of her bigger roles that she's been on. So
that's right.
Oh, that's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine too.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's fine. Sure. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Gina Gershon, she's been in some things, and she is not in this film very long, but her presence is known throughout the whole film, and she ends up getting who wants to talk about her death? Little Gina Gershon.
I mean,
Amanda.
You can talk about it, Brittany. I will say what I thought about it afterwards.
Okay. Well,
Brittany, what happens to Amanda?
The stampede rolls into the right mart, and she gets flung across the room, turkey dinner and all. And then she's crawling on the ground, and she gets slammed by carts, simultaneously living some other guy. But I get it. Crawl to an area that's not like a bigger space. She just kept going, and then she gets knocked, and her hair stuck in the wheel, and she gets half scalped, and that was crazy. I don't understand. I get how she died, but I don't understand it because I don't know. It was weird, but yeah, that was her death. And then Mitch was like, "Nah," because I would be too.
Not Amanda.
Yeah, but if he only knew that she was.
Only knew.
If he only knew.
He would have turned around and been like, "Get those."
Yeah.
Pregnant with another man's baby.
Oh.
And he was standing. Yep. He was like, "Help me!" And they were like, "Help us!" to each other.
Lauren, what did you think? What did you think of that death? What did you think about
Honestly,
Amanda dying?
It was a little fakey for me. I'm not gonna lie. It seemed like a very 80s, campy death scene, horror movie death scene to me.
I feel like
it felt very campy and yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna lead me to the next kill, which is Lizzie. Obviously, the majority of this film takes place 1 year later, 1 year after the massacre. We get to our first kill, which is Lizzie, and she is working as a waitress at a restaurant where they are handing out John Carver masks just to celebrate Thanksgiving. So a lot of people in town are getting that John Carver mask, which we end up learning the killer wears. So I think that makes it fun too, because we know that they were just giving all those out to all the guests. So there's a bunch of people wearing that mask around town. So that kind of makes
Smart for the killer. Yeah.
Smart for the killer. Yeah. Patrick
Which he
Dempsey was
points
so smart.
out. He was like, everybody's going to be wearing them.
Yep.
And you're like, yeah,
Yep.
you.
Yeah, you asshole. You psycho.
Yeah.
So
Psycho.
this leads me to her death. And I actually have a lot of fun with her death. I don't know. That sounds really weird. Such a weird sentence.
Sounds so weird, yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, this just got real awkward, everyone. I am a nice guy.
You are
a nice guy.
So Lizzie is closing up shop at her restaurant, and she's kind of checking the place out, making sure everything is secure. Which all of us on this call work in restaurants, so we know that end of the night, a restaurant gets super quiet, and obviously once you start turning off all the lights, clearly it gets super dark, and sometimes you give yourself the heebie-jeebies about things that could be lingering around there. So as she's closing up shop, she ends up hearing a noise. She turns around, and John Carver is behind her and throws her up against the wall and slices open her hand and throws her into a sink full of water. So at this moment in time, we're thinking, okay, the Carver's not that creative. He's just going to drown her in this water. How boring. So then he puts her in the water long enough to just get her face a little cold and damp, and he ends up pulling her out of the water and takes her into the freezer, where he slams her head up against the door. So the side of her face that is soaking wet is now slammed up against the freezer door. And what happens when that happens? We've all seen A Christmas Story, or maybe we've all experimented with it ourselves. But if you do something wet up against something frozen, it's gonna stick. So her face is stuck to the door, and of course she's trying to escape. So she's pulling and pulling and pulling, as skin's just being like stuck to the door and tearing off of her face. Now, I feel like this should have been a little bit more gruesome. I feel like the sticking of the skin against the door needed to be a little bit more graphic. Lauren's giving me the death stare.
I don't agree. I think it was just perfect the way it was. I'm good. Dave, that's such a weird thing. It needed to be more.
To make it more realistic. To make it be more realistic. I could see that, because it's just like all of a sudden your skin is stuck on a frozen thing and there's no blood coming out of your face. Like, how? It's just like
it's very
a wound that's already healed.
Yes. Yep. So she obviously pulls herself off, pieces of her skin and some flesh is stuck to the door. She runs away, goes into the office or storage closet, something to hide. She pulls her phone out to call for help, and she has so much blood on her hands that she can't touch the screen of her cell phone. So she tries to use her face ID. I don't know why I'm laughing. Yeah, she's using her face ID to unlock the phone, and it won't recognize her face. But I'm like, I don't know why I'm laughing so much. But
I don't know either.
But it's funny. It's funny because we rely so much on technology, especially our phones. And how many of us have been in this situation where we need to get in our phone for some reason, and our finger's not working. There's something else on the screen that it won't react, or for some reason it doesn't recognize our face for some stupid reason. Won't recognize our face, and it's like, what is happening? Like, just getting a little angry over technology. But I feel bad for her. She was just really trying, and that blood was just not her friend, and her face was also not her friend. So
she also should have used a different finger, because she used the fingers that were stuck also on the frozen door. And it's like,
come on,
I get you're panicking, but like, you gotta.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
She didn't, but she tried, I guess.
Yeah. So being in the office, she can see the camera. She's kind of checking out the place, and she doesn't see him anywhere. So she creeps back out of the office and runs out the back door. She's in the parking lot. She is safe. She digs through her purse, trying to find her keys. And what do we know? The keys have been stolen, and John Carver is in her car.
Yes.
So she guns it. She's like, I am out of here. And she's running away from the car. John Carver turns the car on, and of course, speeds right towards her. And she goes to hide to jump into a dumpster that's in the back. And as she jumps into it, the Carver hits it just in the right spot as she's getting into it. And the impact of the car and the lid and the force of her falling onto the side ends up tearing her body right in half. So the bottom part of her body falls on the outside of the garbage can, and the upper part of her body falls into the trash can. So what do we think about this whole sequence, ladies?
Is that possible?
First off, why is she by herself? And is it possible because aren't garbage cans, they're plastic lids? So like, how did that snap her body in half like that?
Mm-hmm.
Are they metal lids? Because I saw it and I was like, wait, I swear garbage cans are metal or plastic.
Plastic.
Yeah.
No, they're plastic.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they are.
For sure. So this is where my rating had changed a little bit from the first time I saw it. These little things. So this sequence, probably my favorite in the movie. I like the little bit of humor that's in it. I like some of the creativity that's behind what happens. But it's up until that point when she heads towards the dumpster and jumps in and her body splits in half that it kind of loses me. Because like you guys said, how does that happen?
So perfectly.
Perfectly split in half. Like I feel like if obviously being split in half is something that happens in the movie for a reason, but I feel like they could have just came up with something a little bit different to get her in half.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
Yeah. So also the other thing I want to talk about is the CGI of when it happens, of when her body splits in half. So this is where I get a little frustrated with CGI sometimes versus practical effects. So Eli Roth is known for doing practical effects, but also CGI is obviously a very mainstream movie type of thing. So I feel like some directors also rely on some of that CGI to help with certain things. And here in that sequence, I feel like it just doesn't work. I feel like it really looks fake. And they could have done it so differently. And I think that's one of the things that I love and respect about Damien Leone with Terrifier is that it's 99.9% practical effects. So I'm trying to envision that scene happening the way that it does in a Damien Leone type of world where it's 100% practical effect. And I don't know, that's what turned me off a little bit from that moment is just like, it just looked so fake to me. Like, people are like, oh my God, you saw her insides. I'm like, no,
you didn't.
No, you saw like the look.
Yeah,
you had a computer tell you that those are her insides, and that was not.
Yeah.
You know, with Damien Leone, we would have got like lasagna noodles and marinara mixed with, like that's just the creativity behind all of it, and that's what I love. And Eli Roth is moderately respected in the horror community, and I've just that sequence, I love it, and then that part just ruins it for me. So
yeah,
damn it.
I'm
it's
not
also interesting because and it's weird because throughout the movie there's so many other deaths that happened that you could tell that wasn't CGI. So like you really had to skim it down on.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the movie is that, okay, so Eli Roth wanted all the film's kills to not only be gory, but he wanted them to be creative, which is also playing homage to the creative kills of like the golden age slasher movies like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Happy Birthday to Me, and most notably My Bloody Valentine. They were paying respect to those types of kills. So, it was, I think, Laura and Brittany, one of you guys mentioned something about this feeling very 80s, like some of the stuff that happens. So that was definitely intentional. I do feel like it could have been worked on a little better. I think this movie's good, and I think it had the potential to be great. And I think some of the stuff was just off, whether that had been the fact that there were too many characters or that the characters just weren't they weren't memorable enough. And we all three of us mentioned that we don't remember all the people's names, and because there are a lot of people, but as we know, being in the industry that we are, if you are, if you're, promoting yourself, you're going to be a memorable person, and I feel like that just doesn't happen with a lot of these characters. So That could be one of the things that kind of pulled it away from being great. The breakdown of the plot, I don't know, but I feel like Eli Roth had the formula for all of this to be really good. And I don't think it's a complete miss. I think a lot of people do like this movie a lot. And I'm hoping that with the sequel, they can kind of take all the things that worked and the things that didn't work and make an even better movie. So, yeah, that's my tangent on that. But yeah, the 80s stuff is, the 80s kills, like those types of things are intentional, and I really love that. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. What's Lauren, what is your favorite kill in the movie?
Oh, God. I have to say Evan.
Yes.
That was my favorite.
What happens to Evan?
Think.
What happens to him?
His head gets like just smashed.
More than once.
Well, just honestly, I enjoyed it so much because I found his character so freaking annoying that I was waiting for it. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Brittany, what's your favorite kill in the movie?
I would say Evan or Kathleen, only because that whole sequence of like her trying to get out, it was very like midsummer feel. So she tried her hardest. She really did.
Yeah.
Props to her.
Yeah, that's a scene I actually did enjoy watching. It was so suspenseful. And that is, that kill goes for the most creative award, I think.
Sure.
For sure.
What happens? Let's tell our audience what happens to Kathleen.
Well, Kathleen is a pretty nice dinner, as Eric pointed out before that even happened. Whenever she was talking about like something with eggplant, but she gets cooked and turned into a turkey.
Yeah. And
as the main dish, like whenever Thomas threw up with the gag on, I was like, wow, that's gross, but I get it, dude. This is disgusting. But it was very creative. It was very creative.
Yeah, as mentioned in the breakdown of the movie, one of the ending scenes leading up to the end of the movie is a Thanksgiving feast, and Kathleen is what is served. And watching the Carver put butter on her, and then having her,
God, yeah,
that was wild.
That
was so creepy.
Yeah, she escapes. She, like you said, you guys mentioned that it was like a really fun scene in the movie, and I agree.
Did we say fun?
That's all I heard. Yep, fun.
He heard it. They enjoyed it very much. We'll stay with this.
I said most creative.
Yeah. I think you said most celebratory death in the film. I'm just kidding.
God.
But yeah, it kind of becomes a really cool cat and mouse sequence, which also sometimes is missing from the slasher films because everything's just go, kill, go, kill. So I am proud, and well, I guess not proud, I don't know Eli Roth, but I'm happy that he incorporated a nice tense cat and mouse sequence in the film. So
how he gets her was crazy, because like, how did he become this superpower? All of a sudden he's just throwing a pitchfork at her.
Yeah, so finally when it comes down to the end of that chase scene, he has that pitchfork and he just, he like wails that thing at her.
Just bullseye.
I was like, damn, bro, you play sports too, Mr. Sheriff Man?
Yeah.
Shit.
That was the javelin throw if I've ever seen one.
It was. It really was. Let's talk about the cat in the movie. Lauren, you love cats. What do you think about the cat in the movie? Do you remember the cat? You don't remember the cat?
I don't remember the cat.
Dewey was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm. Lauren ignores the cats.
No.
I see how you really feel about cats.
I don't remember.
Dewey did not like his owner. Dewey said, you know what? You're about to die. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help you.
Oh, yes. When he patted the cat, I was like, fucking get away from that fucking cat. Get away.
Okay, yes. Okay, so Lauren,
I did say that. Yeah.
I actually looked at Zach and I told him, I was like, Lauren would be so proud. So Eli Roth said that the cat in the movie was such a good actor and performed on cue perfectly that he called him Leonardo DiCaprio.
I love that. That's cute.
That's so
I love that so much. He's
But
an
the
Oscar.
name, yeah, the name of the cat in the movie, I'm sorry, the name of the cat in real life that played this cat in the movie, in real life's name is Tonic, and he actually previously starred as the cat in the Pet Sematary remake from 2019.
Shout out to Courtney's cat, Tonic.
Oh, Courtney has a cat named Tonic?
She has Kettle and Tonic.
That's so cute. Stop.
I love that. I feel like I knew that now that you mentioned that. But yeah, shout out to Tonic. All the Tonic cats around the world, you guys are the shit.
The shit.
Yeah, you are.
The shit.
We love it.
So Eli Roth always said that he never liked when he was watching movies, and especially horror movies. He didn't like when he was watching horror movies and animals were a part of it and got killed. He said that always turned him off.
Yep.
So he always said that he would never kill an animal in any of his films because there's no reason to do that. So he wanted to incorporate the complete opposite of what we're used to seeing in horror films. So he wanted it to be where the Carver, obviously pet the cat and then fed the cat. So John Carver was like, well, I just killed your owner, so here's some food to hold you over.
Right. I did notice the cat gagged whenever he was eating that food. I don't know what it was, but he was like, and I was like, oh no.
You know what? Yeah, I did notice that too, and I'm like, well, I hope the cat's okay.
Yeah, maybe he was just like thinking about what just happened to his owner, so he had to like regroup. That's what I like.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so trampoline scene. That's as I mentioned, a pretty iconic scene that happens in the trailer from 2007. As I mentioned, it was a little vulgar. What did you guys think about that? Did you guys think that was a creative kill, or do you think it was too silly?
In the middle.
It kind of was unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, there was
like she didn't even turn around and see him, so like, I don't know.
Didn't add anything to it. Like,
yeah, it didn't.
I wasn't invested in it because I wasn't invested in the characters. Yeah.
Like, who were they? And I was like, oh, the guy who started the stampede. Got it.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend. Like, did she even have lines in the beginning?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. So again, I think that's a really creative kill, or as I would say, a very fun kill. But I feel like it was just done wrong. And I don't think it should have been like the 2007 trailer version, of course. However, I do think that they could have had a lot more fun with it and could have made the sequence a little bit longer and added more suspense to it. I think that's what was missing. I think it was kind of this cool idea where they're like, oh, let's do this, and then it's over. So as soon as it starts and you get what's happening, it ends. But like the idea of that girl jumping on the trampoline, the killer being underneath the trampoline and just poking the knife through, because we all know that it's pretty hard to stop yourself on a trampoline like immediately. So adding fear into that, like realizing that there's someone underneath there with a knife, I feel like that she just got discombobulated, so she died very fast. I feel like she got stabbed once, she fell over, got stabbed again, and she was dead. And another thing about this scene, the CGI blood. Why didn't you just use, no, I don't want to say real blood, but real fake blood,
Yeah, especially the stuff on her mouth. Because it like floated. It was weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the blood on the trampoline like glistened and didn't even move. And I'm like,
yeah, you're like
that. But guys, think about it. Like, okay, I'm going to get gross for a minute, but like constantly being stabbed, her like falling constantly onto the knife and her bleeding onto the trampoline. And then why is the blood not just like splashing around?
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. I mean,
agreed.
Not awesome.
And they could have panned out, and then you would have seen like the blood dripping from the trampoline onto the gym floor.
Yeah.
And then you see
Director
boyfriend, his head is turned,
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
All right, Eli Roth, let's talk, man. Let's talk. Let's redo this scene in Thanksgiving too.
Yeah. We have plans because it could have been longer and it could have been more prominent, but of course they were like not even secondary characters, so I get it.
Yeah.
Just to show like he's going for everybody who made the stampede happen and killed his mistress, baby mama.
Yeah.
But
I think the grossest was Yulia's though. But she didn't die, did she?
Yeah, that was
She died. No, she died.
But Scuba was like, "What do I do, Jess?" And that whole scene, I was like, "Yeah, what does he
When
do?
all her
Like, what do we
guts were coming out. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he's just in shock, like,
What do I
Those were
even
good
do?
guts.
Didn't he
they
Those
say,
were.
guts
what
were
do I
good
even
guts.
do right now? Isn't that what he
Yep.
said? What do
Yeah,
I even do?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
He just kept saying it, and Jess was
Mm-hmm.
just like, "Cause like, what do we do?"
Yeah. Her
Yeah. What do
eyes
you
were
do?
just like,
Yeah, and where did her dad was her dad dead or did he get shot with a tranquilizer? Because I couldn't understand that. Like, was the cop did he get
for
shot, like
some
actually shot,
reason,
or
he is still alive.
Still
okay,
alive.
And to me, I'm
interesting.
like, he's the main one who had this whole thing. Like, he owns the store. He had it open. He advertised it. Like, he was the one that had this whole thing going. How is he spared?
Thomas, yeah,
Yeah.
I
How is he spared?
maybe to make his daughter like suffer. So I don't really know what she had to do with it. Like, I get it, like those are her friends, but she didn't tell them to go there. She just happened to be there.
No.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
this
for
is
Jess, like, ugh.
yeah. So that's part of the plot that I do feel like just needed like mechanically worked out a little bit more. So, like you said, we know why Jessica is like the final girl. We know why she's the main girl. She's the Sydney Prescott of this Thanksgiving film. But I just feel like there's not enough reason to go after her and the friends.
Yes,
No.
Like I get why. We understand why. Like
yeah.
we're told, in the reveal of the film. So the reveal of the film obviously is what's the reveal of the film? So what's the motive for Patrick Dempsey? You guys remember?
The death of his lover.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
She was pregnant with
and she was pregnant with
baby.
his
Yeah.
baby. And she was gonna leave Mitch. Which, again, what would have been even more creative with this movie, Mitch and Eric could have paired up. Like, I get it. You can't because he was fighting for his mistress, but at the same time, he doesn't know that. Like,
No.
it could have been like, hey, like, let's revenge her because he was like, the whole family of Thomas needs to be done. So
Mhm.
they would have paired up, teamed together. There's the second killer, but then everybody thinks it's him, but it's really Eric doing it for Amanda's revenge.
Poor
Yeah.
Mitch. I just feel bad for Mitch and
Poor
all of
Mitch.
this. Yeah. He's forced to
And
go there
deserved
on
any of it.
Thanksgiving.
He didn't even want to
His
be.
wife dies. He has no idea that she was pregnant with another man's baby. Like, poor.
He's trying to save his employees.
He's
Like,
trying to
so
save his
many things
employees.
happen.
He tries to protest the store being open again for a second year on Thanksgiving. Like, Mitch is like my hero.
Yeah, he was doing the right thing. And everybody's like, no. And he's like, no, he's the one who deserved to be the killer because he had more,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a laundry list.
Yeah.
A laundry list indeed. Yeah, I feel like the reveal, I feel like it was a little bit too simplistic.
Again, that too.
It was just kind of like, okay, so it was, Amanda was cheating and she ended up getting pregnant and they were getting ready to tell everyone and, they were going to run off together. And that was it. So because the whole Black Friday massacre happened, obviously she gets murdered and that also, kills the baby. So he seeks revenge a year later. And it's kind of like, okay, I get it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, but why else? Like, that was
Yeah.
it? Like, I get it. Like, that sounds like real, like, that was it.
So,
but, like, really, that was it?
Yeah, so they were getting into, there was the subplot where Jessica, our main girl, was trying to find the security footage from that night.
Yeah.
So she ends up getting some, and we end up finding about it was Adderall, right? Like someone was buying Adderall.
Addies.
Yeah, Ryan. Addies.
Addies.
It's like, you don't know what Addies are?
That's right.
Smart kids. Like, chill, Ryan Baker.
My God.
Yeah,
I
so
love Milo too. He pissed me off.
yeah, I feel like they hammed up the idea of the security footage so much, at least it felt like a lot. And I was thinking that there was going to be like a twist, that something we missed in this whole thing that was going to contribute to whatever we find out the reveal was. Like there was like a big reveal there that leads us to the final big reveal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, here's some addies. Like, okay.
Because why else would she delete it? Like to not show the stampede? Like everybody knows about it. It was on the news.
It was on the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that she was hiding, like she was trying to save somebody. Who's Ryan Baker to her? Nobody.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's I don't know. The more we're talking about it, I just feel like
is your review going down?
Going worse.
Oh my God!
It might be. Yeah, I just I feel like it's all the information that we need is here, but some of the pieces, it's like we were building this puzzle and a couple of the pieces are missing that could have just really helped it out. Yeah. So, yeah. But one other thing that I definitely want to talk about is the cosmetology classroom scene. I thought that was kind of cool. So, Jessica is in the high school and goes to run from John Carver, and Lauren is laughing at us.
No, okay, I know. I remember. Just kidding.
She found
she was
it.
Like, Lauren's like, I don't remember cosmetology. I don't remember cats. I don't remember Thanksgiving. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
The heads.
Yes. Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah. So the cosmetology scene, Jessica is in the high school and she's running from John Carver, and she goes into a cosmetology classroom. So there's a bunch of mannequin heads with wigs on just to try all the new hairstyles and haircuts and stuff. And the one way she decides to hide is by ducking down next to the table and kind of using her own head as one of the mannequin heads. It's kind of silly, but I thought it was kind of cool. Like,
yeah, it was cool.
Thinking on your feet. Yeah.
Now that I remember it, it's cool. Yeah.
You remembered it. It took a second. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the only reason I'm referring to it as the cosmetology classroom is just because I read some stuff about the scene. I don't know if I would have just called it the cosmetology classroom right off the bat. Just been like, oh my God, I love the cosmetology classroom. So no, I get it.
What high school has a cosmetology? I'm like, can I go there?
I mean,
yeah.
Well, here's a fun fact about that. With you saying that, Lauren, I'm actually going to build right off of that the cosmetology classroom was not in the script, nor was it originally intended to involve Jessica's chase scene. It was a real location that the filmmakers discovered inside of watered down district high school that they were filming in. They found the room and thought, oh, this would be cool to incorporate this part into the chase scene. So
that's awesome.
That was kind of cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I mean, I wouldn't, even if I was writing a script for a movie in a high school, I wouldn't be like, and then she ran into the cosmetology classroom.
There is no cosmetology classroom in high schools.
Yeah, like where's like wood shop and stuff like that. Like that's what or guitar class.
Pottery.
Pottery, home ec. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just naming our high school curriculum here.
I did have a planetarium in my high school. I missed that. It was up. Yeah. Yeah, no, but they ended up taking out whenever they did like the remodel, which is really
where
dumb,
did you go to high school?
Mount Lebanon.
Why do I think I went to Upper St. Clair. Did we have a planetarium? I don't know.
No, Mount Lebanon was the only school in literally Pittsburgh, like only high school that had a planetarium.
Okay,
and then they've recently took it out because that was smart. Whatever.
Yeah,
I think I don't go there anymore.
Love it.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go, but so I think the cosmetology stuff was pretty neat. I'm glad they incorporated it. And then I read an interview in Variety magazine with Eli Roth, where he spoke about a couple of the scenes that represented his approach to making a modern slasher film. So he was quoted saying, "I was in this high school and they had a cosmetology room and there were mannequin heads all over. I thought, well, this is a gift. I might as well use it. We have a chase scene in a high school with a killer and a girl that needs to hide in a room full of 100 heads. So of course we're going to get in there and have her head hiding, much like E.T. among the dolls in E.T. Love that.
Yeah.
But we thought the first thing he'd do is turn off all the lights. And I remember someone from the studio was like, it's a horror movie. don't the lights have to be off? I go, it's much scarier when he flips the lights on. How the hell is she going to hide from him? That's the fun in everything. Thinking of all the previous movies and having the characters do smart things, enforcing FaceTime or social media or using live streaming, using viral videos, incorporating it into the language of slasher films, which I had not yet done. I also hadn't seen the killer take care of the pet of a person they just killed. When I'm watching a movie and someone has a pet, I'm not in the room anymore. If someone gets killed, I'm just like, I'm over it. Or I'm not over it, but when an animal gets taken care of, that's what he says, taken care of, then I am over it. I cannot enjoy the rest of the film. So one of the answers to that question, once and for all, the killer to have a code. The killer is only going after people connected with the killing. That's it. It's not just the carnage about killing anyone. It's the carnage of killing the ones that need killed. Bum, bum, bum.
I like that.
Yeah. So again, he's always talking about his homage to old slasher films and things like that, and even bringing E.T. into the mix. So
I love that.
Also, like when this is so silly, but he said like the killer does smart things, right? When he shut the door, I'm like, oh, that's so smart. When he shut the door to the classroom, I'm like, oh wait, that is so smart.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at as film goers and things like that. Like, I think we need to start seeing more of these. The creativity is amazing, but injecting that realism into it is usually what I'm looking for nowadays. We can accept old movies for what they were, but now I feel like with the subgenre of elevated horror, which we're talking Hereditary, Midsommar, The Babadook, things like that, that's kind of become more mainstream type horror where we're getting smarter, and we've seen this shit before. We've seen the killer going after. We've seen the cat and mouse stuff. So how do we make it creative and how do we make it smart? And I feel like Eli Roth is acknowledging it and he's incorporating it into little moments, but he's not fully there. I feel like there's definitely some slips, and I understand that you kind of lose some full creativity over the whole thing because you're working for a film studio and they always want to interject with different ideas and things, and what's gonna make them all the money. So I am also understanding that could be a part of it, but again, I feel like I just keep talking about the things that could have been with this.
Yeah.
And but it's more of my rambling. So yeah.
I mean, he has room for growth and all of that stuff too, because eventually producers and people who greenlight the stuff, they're going to have to change with the times.
Sure.
And technology is very prominent because it's not like the 80s movies, and a lot of horror movies are based like around that. So we're getting into a new era.
We are
2023 and 2024.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where Scream is now as well. So we have, we had the OG trilogy, we had 4 come out in the midst of after that, and then we got the reboot of Scream 5 and then Scream 6. So Scream 5 worked because it was giving homage to everything else. Scream 6, where I enjoyed Scream 6, I can also pick apart some of the things that they were completely amiss on. And I don't know. I feel like with Scream 6, like I said, they just didn't get creative. So they just went with the formula again. And I feel like the opening scene switched the formula up. So I was like, but then the rest of it was just the formula again. And they didn't switch anything up. So it's enjoyable. It's still Scream. I love it. I'm not even sitting here ripping Scream 6 apart. I'm clearly just using it as a reference to now I think with Scream 7 getting ready to start filming, I'm hoping that they try new things and get as smart as we are now, because more than half of the reviews of Scream 6 I saw, everyone was like, well, I knew who at least 2 of the killers were before anything really happened. So how do we get to a point where we can still make these slasher movies, make them fun, but be completely creative with it? So Yeah. But Eli Roth is one of those directors that he is very well respected, but he unfortunately has a lot of misses in his career, and he seems to kind of cash grab on the ones that work. And I'm talking about Hostel. Did you guys ever see Hostel?
No. Mm-mm.
No, because I can't do stuff like that.
Like the torture porn subgenre of horror?
Yeah. I saw Fear.com forever ago, and I was like, that's enough for me.
I don't even know
So
what
anything
it's
that's like
about.
that,
Yeah.
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 I have a
So
feeling I wouldn't like it though.
No, they like
you
go on a
probably
trip and then they stay in a hostel, I think, at
Well,
least.
I thought you guys were saying hostile, like,
Hostel. Yeah.
No, yeah.
hostel, like
Yeah. Hostel.
hostel
Yep.
in like Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like in the room. Yeah.
I think
But
I've
other
seen
than
bits
that, I
and
know
pieces
nothing
of
about
that actually.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's been like
Have you
on.
seen it, Dave?
Hostel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
So when Hostel first came out, I was actually at that point in time. Obviously, that came out after Saw, and I felt like it was trying to do the same thing Saw did, but wasn't
Yeah.
successful with it. And at that stage of my life, I was not about the torture porn subgenre. I thought it was annoying. That's why I only saw the first two Saws, because then I'm like, I don't want to watch the rest of them because it's the same shit over and over again.
Same.
I did end up rewatching Hostel a couple years ago with Zach. Him and I were like, let's watch Hostel again, and I did enjoy it more this time around. I do feel like there is a little bit of creativity in it that does separate it from Saw. It's, again, not my favorite. I don't think it's a movie I'm going to be like, hey, let's do a whole podcast episode on it, because I would love to talk about this. But
Yeah.
But yeah, that torture porn subgenre is not one of my favorites. So it's kind of always a turnoff for me. But Hostel is probably one of two of Eli Roth's like most popular horror films. The other one being my favorite Eli Roth movie, Cabin Fever.
I've heard of it.
Is that with Sean
Ryder
Hunter?
Strong. Yep.
Yes. I've seen that, and that movie was.
Yeah. I never wanted. I don't shave my legs, but I never wanted to shave again after seeing that movie.
Wait, is Shannon? Who does that? Who shaves their legs and their skin like peels off?
Oh, what?
Yeah. Oh, Lauren, you would absolutely hate it. You would hate it because it's like so many things happen, and I was just like, I don't want to touch anything, drink water from anywhere that's not from, I don't know.
No,
but yeah,
I'm too paranoid.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. It was like about a town, and they'd like drink the river water.
Nope.
And something happens.
Nope. I'm already
Yeah.
like paranoid enough as it is. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next podcast episode will be Cabin Fever featuring
No,
Lauren and
it's
Brittany.
not happening.
And I saw it once. I don't even know what year that came out, but I want to say I saw it around whenever it came out, and I was like, this is scary.
It actually came out in 2002. 2002.
Yeah, so I probably saw it in like 2004, and I was too young to be watching that in 2000.
We're the same age, right?
We are.
Yep.
My brain was not ready.
I saw it in theaters, and I remember the skin tearing with the shaving, and just being like, "Holy shit, that's awful."
It was a moment, to say the least.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll rewatch that soon, and we'll have a pod. Lauren, we'll see you there.
You too will do that.
And she'll listen and enjoy.
Yeah,
Can we do Elf next time?
I don't know what that is.
I've never seen Elf. Well, Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
I
do you have a Will Ferrell thing?
Yeah.
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 A lot of people, it's either like a Will Ferrell or Jim Carrey thing. People have a thing.
I love Jim Carrey, but
it's like one or the other.
I mean, yeah. I've never seen Elf.
I don't like Elf.
Disappointment.
Because I actually had this conversation the other day. My employees at work like to do hot takes, like, what's your hot take today, Dave? And they were talking about actors, and someone said, my hot take is Jack Nicholson is not a good actor.
Oh.
so my heart ached for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But then I hit back with, I don't think Will Ferrell's a good actor. I feel like he's just the same person.
And every he's ever done.
And I feel like he's just, I don't know, loud and obnoxious for no reason. I'm so sorry. Lauren's about to cook us like the Thanksgiving turkey in this movie.
We're about to be Kathleen.
Yep. We're going to get Kathleen.
I cannot. Wait, you know what we should do? We should do like a Hallmark movie. Like,
but
all,
honestly,
like the Christmas ones.
My mom watches those daily, and sometimes I sit and watch them with her.
They're so good.
And I'll be rolling my eyes, and she's like, "Don't make fun of my movies." I'm like,
they're
listen,
a good escape.
I'm just reacting.
Yeah.
I agree. Some of them are very good.
Some of them are good.
Most of them aren't. Some of them are great.
There's
Most
this
of them
one.
aren't.
Yeah. Dave, don't look at me.
Don't.
Does anyone get killed in a dumpster and split in half?
No.
This is ridiculous. Just kidding.
Disappointed.
You fall in love, though.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for them. Do they?
Yeah.
No one. Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
We get the Eric and Amanda what could have been and Hallmark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I'll have to make sequels to these movies and get those characters in different scenarios. Yeah. Cool. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about Thanksgiving? Things that you love, things that you hated?
Oh, wait, did we even talk about the clown in the middle of the parade?
How disrespectful. No. He's switching it up. That was crazy.
What happens there, Lauren?
A creepy clown. So
tell our audience.
Well, so John Carver. Well, first of all, and this was my hint, because what was the cop's name? Patrick Dempsey told everyone, "Oh, let's lure Carver out," right?
Yep.
And then it ends up, obviously, there's killings because that plan is not ever going to work. Why would you want to lure a killer out to a popular event in your town? That makes no sense. There's children there. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so he changes up the costume and is like a creepy clown, although not as creepy as Art. Art has my heart. It is true.
I love that catchphrase.
See, it's like a lifetime romance. There we go. There's our romance right there. You and Art and all the dead people. Yes.
But he chops the head off a mascot.
He does.
And it just rolls, and the kids scream, and then things happen, and then there's another clown.
Bad plan.
And the car hits it. Grandpa wakes up. Grandpa got vomit through the back of the.
Oh God, that was crazy.
So
that's a good kill. Yeah,
was on the end of it.
It's just dangling.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
We didn't even talk about this, but that was a creepy clown.
That was a creepy clown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I thought it was a cool idea to do something like that too. And like you guys said, the impaling through the dad's head in the car and the two kids screaming and his nose hanging off the side of the pole that goes through. Yeah, it's there's a lot of blood in that scene too. It just, the blood just keeps squirting and
it's just
and that's practical. That was practical effects, and it was cool. I think I think your mind can, where it might look a little fake, it's still more realistic to me than just a computer generated blood spew.
I mean, same with Evan's kill. That was practical effects, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
right?
it was.
And it was just every time he hit, it was a different angle, a different splatter, and I was like, wow. And then here's Gabby just screaming her head off.
Yeah.
I will say this, the relationships between the kids Evan is annoying because he's like Rod from Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just that popular guy who's just oh, we'll play football.
Yeah.
It's
so Rod.
I'll play football.
Rod.
And then Scuba's how are you going to play football? You're only one person. He's like, I'm going to do it anyway.
Scuba was the voice of reason.
He was the voice of reason. He was like Jess's best friend because he was like her ride or die. Like I got you, bro. We're gonna get this man. And what is his name? I guess the town party guy who they go to the house party. I
What is
feel like
that
he's
guy's
either
name?
I don't even think they ever said
Don't
it.
you remember, Dave? Like they did, because he drove up in that Marty.
Yeah. It was hit Jeff. So they go to that little kid that's walking around selling tickets to said party. It was his party. So whenever they get to the house to get like Scuba and Jess go to the house to get the materials to take out John Carver, he was like very adamant of keeping Jess protected. And I was like, what's this relationship? And then same with giving the ring of his dad who saved his life, and they ended up, I guess it was like a little blade comes out, cuts out, and then
yes, yep,
Scuba and Jess scroll. But like that whole, I just really like Scuba. He's cool.
I love Scuba.
No,
yeah,
Scuba.
I feel for that man, because him and Jess are just staring like they saw some gruesome things.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, so this kind of gets into, we know that Thanksgiving 2 has been greenlit. But Lauren, what do you hope for Thanksgiving 2?
More fall leaves. Maybe some like a cute little jack-o'-lantern scene with like 1,000 jack-o'-lanterns like all lit up. Like that would be cute. Maybe an actual like turkey family dinner.
Are these those Lifetime movies you're talking about? Is that what you're saying?
She is dreaming.
I am.
Well,
I just, I would like to see some change in this town. That's what I would like to see. Yes. I would like to see
change for the better.
Change for the better, yeah.
What about you, Brittany?
I hope that Scuba, Jess, and was it Bobby? I hope they all come back. I mean, Ryan Baker, he can come back, but like he needs to stay away from Jess. But I don't know. I feel like a sequel is going to be good, especially since they know who it is. They're going to get they have to get more creative to the revenge part of it. So let's see what happens.
That's my next question. Do we think that with Thanksgiving 2, we'll still have Sheriff Eric Nolan as the killer?
I think he's going to evolve, like how Freddy, is from A Nightmare. He's like all burned and stuff. I feel like he's going to evolve into that like villain. You know what I mean? Like he already is a villain, but I feel like he's going to become the character. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
The moment that before he turns the oven on for Kathleen, he puts the mask on top of the oven and it melts, and he admires himself, and I was like, what the fuck was the point of that? But maybe that was the foreshadow of what was going to happen, and then we'll actually
like this is the origin story of the villain. This is like Freddy's youth. You know what I mean? Like this is the origin story. Yeah.
So this is John Carver is going to become Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and
this is him.
Chucky and Leatherface.
Origin story. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like this. Okay.
Same.
My other question. Yeah. My other question too is, now this movie we felt like it was a little too stuffed with too many characters. Happy Thanksgiving pun. We felt like there was a little bit too many characters. Now, we had a lot more people live than traditional slasher films. Now, I just talked about how I felt like that's where Scream 6 kind of got messed up, is they had too many people survive 5, so there were so many main characters in 6. So do we think that if we're getting rid of the slasher, the whodunit type stuff, if it's John Carver, that's who it is, like it's an embodiment of John Carver, so we're losing that whodunit aspect, having all these characters and all these main characters would be fine, but if they're still playing with the slasher aspect of it all, I personally don't think it would work because we already have like 4 or 5 returning characters. If everyone came back that survived, so now we're already limiting that. So are we going to overstuff Thanksgiving 2 with all these extra characters,
I
or
hope not.
do you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not
I feel like we
verbalizing what I want
barely
to say
got to
correctly.
know the characters in the first one, so I hope they don't do that.
I can see them bringing back the ones who did survive, and maybe it's one of them because the chemical of their brains switched it up. Because hey, it could be Ryan Baker. Maybe Bobby and Jess got back together because they went through a traumatic experience, and then he says Thanksgiving is to blame for this.
Did you think
And
it's
then
going to be like
Turnbull.
the same villain like in A Nightmare on Elm Street or Terrifier? Or do you think it's going to be like Ghostface where it's a different person wearing the mask every time?
So that's what I'm interested in, is that so you started your film off as a slasher, a whodunit slasher. So if you think about Scream, so like if we're just I keep referencing Scream a lot, but that's definitely, a blueprint to the slasher aspect of it all. But if, Billy or Stu had survived Scream 1 and they're back for Scream 2 as the killer, are we just keeping them as a killer, but we got rid of one of the main subplots of what our first film was, which was the whodunit slasher? So I love the idea of the John Carver becoming like the new icon, like Freddy, like Michael, like Jason. But now we're no longer going to have the whodunit aspect of it. So, is that what drew people to it originally? Would anyone have just came to just see, a Freddy Krueger type? Like, would they stick around for that type of thing? I don't know. That's tough because, like Brittany, like you said too, is that maybe we could have John Carver return the same way that you mentioned, Lauren, because I really do like that idea. But I do think they have to try to incorporate a whodunit type aspect in there, some way, shape, or form. But I think if they add more layers to the overall story and maybe have a second killer, someone that was helping the sheriff from the first one, be revealed to be a part of the plot, the plan, whatever. Maybe there was more security footage. See, now my head's rolling. So maybe there was more security footage. Maybe there was something that we missed in the first one, because that is what I love about Scream, is that, and I think, Lauren, I told you this when I introduced you to the Scream franchise. I was like, it's one big story. Like, it's continuous. It's not just a new thing here or there, keeping one character. Each movie has ties to the first one or the one before it. And that's what I would like to see with Thanksgiving. So if we can keep that whodunit aspect of it all, maybe create a new horror icon such as the John Carver character, and then continue that. So, that's my tangent.
And maybe I'll add on to that tangent. Maybe even because we already revealed who the killer was, we can dial it back. They can say like, "Oh, this happened with the sheriff in breaking news. He was involved with Amanda," and then Mitch switches it up. He becomes John Carver, but because everybody knows it's Eric, the sheriff, they go after him, but the killings keep happening. So it's like, who is it now? And now they have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's not him because he's so like intertwined with the town that he fools everybody.
So many directions it could go.
So many directions.
I'm a little excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited too. Yeah. I really like the ideas that you guys brought about. I'm glad we kind of threw all of our ideas together and made some fun things happen with the possibility of Thanksgiving too. So
yeah,
I'll send this part to Eli Roth. I'm just kidding.
Perfect.
When's the second one coming out?
So they greenlit it. As far as I know,
yeah.
So the script might not even be finished yet, but I could see it coming out in 2026. I think
so far
planning on it coming out in a year might be a little rough, but again, I don't know exactly where they're at with the whole thing. Maybe Eli Roth already had a script for a sequel and hoped that people liked it. So we'll have to see.
Is any of the cast confirmed coming back? No.
Nope.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So as far as I know, we're getting to Thanksgiving too, and that's about the gist of it.
Well,
so
hopefully Jess comes back, because I honestly she was cool. I was like, I'll watch her movies.
Yeah, I like her too. I even researched her because I thought she was a good actress. I think she's really pretty. She kind of has. She's a very beautiful girl, but she also has like some kind of like a toughness to her, which is what I think you need with your final girls.
Yes.
Your Laurie Strodes and your Nancy Thompsons and your Sidney Prescotts. So
yeah.
Can we have Jessica be a part of that? We'll see what
like
Thanksgiving 2 brings.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Nell, come on back and give us more Jessica.
That's not.
Well, Lauren, has your rating changed at all for Thanksgiving?
No,
You started off with
I
a 2.
swear, just talking about it with you guys has got me like excited for the second one, and I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know. Okay, I'm changing it to a 3. I'm changing it to a 3.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You must have saw a different part of scenery that you didn't see the first time that made you like it a little bit. I'm just kidding.
So I honestly, I am excited to see the second one. Oh my God.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Brittany, what about you?
Is it to a 6?
Okay.
Like talking about, there are some scenes like that happen. Like whenever Lizzie was by herself, why did she close by herself? I don't get it. She just
no one should be closing by themselves in a restaurant.
Nobody should be, especially like she was the server. So like, where's the manager? Unless she's the manager and the server, which is fine. But like, keep a person with you. Like, where's the back hook? Like, what's happening? And didn't even look for her keys before she walked outside. And I was like, this is not even realistic. Fix that. My rant is over. I just spiraled.
I get it. I agree with you. I will say I don't close with anybody, so I'm usually alone. Yeah, so
and I mean, like, I've walked alone from work before whenever I have to park really far and dumb stuff. Like, North Shore shouldn't do it. But in like logical sense, I know I shouldn't be walking alone. But like, I just had to get to my car.
Brittany, don't do that.
Yeah,
I know.
don't do that.
You guys don't do it either.
I mean, I walk 2 steps,
True. That is true. Like the structure of the parking lot.
I have to go to a parking garage. So.
Oh, you do?
Parking garages creep me out, to be quite honest. Like anytime I go, I hold my breath in power walk.
Is there like a horror movie in a parking garage? There is.
Yeah,
there is.
Okay.
Never seen it, and I've never seen it. Yeah.
It's called P2.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I've seen bits and pieces. I was like, if I watch this, it'll be game over.
Yeah, and then Scream 4 has the parking garage scene too with Gail's publicist.
Yeah, and then Halloween H2O, there's the parking thing with the dean or whatever, and the parking garage.
Yeah. Oh, Urban Legend.
Remember he gets.
Yeah.
Legend.
Urban Legend. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I just think of the Seinfeld episode where they can't find their car in the parking garage.
Wish. And that's my biggest nightmare, because the second I can't find my car, there's immediately a killer somewhere.
Yeah.
Like that's is there a Lifetime movie about a parking garage where people fall in love?
Probably they run into each other and it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're little meet cute of running into each other on the elevator going down to Pete.
Wait, no, they're in the elevator together and they get off at different floors, and neither of their cars are on the floors they get out at, and then they like run into each other.
And then John Carver comes up behind with a pitchfork and jams it into both of their bodies, and blood goes everywhere.
Dave.
All right, damn it.
A Lifetime horror movie would be hilarious.
A Lifetime horror. Oh my God.
Imagine.
No.
I kind of want to see it.
Put Candace Cameron Bure in there.
Please, can you be the one? First one. First
kill. The first one now, yes.
The opening scene.
And then Bethany Joy Lenz can be like the heroine of it all.
She'll be our final girl. There we go.
Yep.
Can Jodie Sweetin be the one that kills Candace?
Yeah, absolutely. If this doesn't happen, I'm gonna be pissed.
I know. We gotta make it work. Just bring everybody together.
Oh my God,
guys, we've been very creative this episode. I'm very proud of us. Thanksgiving, the movie really brings us brings these ideas out. So, well, that's all I really have with Thanksgiving. I do want to say that my rating went from a 7.5 to a 7.
It went down.
Just a tiny bit. I mean,
just a 0.5.
I do like it, and I said it a bazillion times in this over and over again. All the ideas were there. I'm not saying that I would have been better with this at all, but I feel like Eli Roth had all the makings of making a great slasher film, and I think he just lost momentum a little bit in different scenes. But I have all the faith in the world that Thanksgiving 2 could be our new iconic Thanksgiving holiday slasher film.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel.
I
But
can see it happening.
cool. Well, I appreciate you guys doing this episode. I appreciate you listeners listening. The film is called Thanksgiving, and we're a week away, essentially almost a week away from Thanksgiving here. So happy holidays to you guys and to everyone listening. I hope you don't have the same fate as this wonderful town of Plymouth, Massachusetts did in 2022 or 2023. So hopefully it's filled with a really good Thanksgiving feast and not a woman fried on the table.
Yeah. Yo, whenever that little turkey pop laugh, it's like, wow, that was disrespectful.
Done. Turkey's ready, Ma.
Yeah. She's crispy.
Oh my God.
She was crispy. Oh, and he shaves a little bit of her skin off. Oh
God.
Oh man, now I'm hungry.
I honestly was eating food while I was watching that scene. I was like, that
was a mistake, Brittany.
It was a mistake. And I was like, well, I've already committed.
That's like how I was watching the Terrifier originally, and we had gotten the black bean dip from Mad Max to eat. And we were like, well, nope, we are done with that.
Nope, not. Yeah.
I love it.
While watching horror, it's just not a good test.
Shit.
I don't know.
Well, ladies, I appreciate you doing this episode. I always have a great time with both of you, separately and obviously together. So thanks again for joining me on another fun episode. Everyone, thanks for listening. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, and I'm sure we will be.
Thanksgiving.
I'm sure we'll be back for another fun episode right after the holidays. So everyone enjoy your night. And again, thanks for listening to the Reaction Shot podcast. I'm your host, Dave. I'll see you next time.